Hey everybody, how are you? How's it going? Can you hear me at all? How's the sound? Do we have sound here? Are we hearing sound at all?
Do we have sound
Okay,
here?
excellent. Yep, we do.
Okay,
All
we
right,
got it.
awesome. Awesome. Hey everybody, how are you? It's Jeff Gellman of Solid Canine Training with my What Would Jeff Do dog training Q&A. We do this every week. We finally switched over to YouTube Live. This is going to be an exclusive YouTube Live show where you'll be able to ask your questions. So the way you're going to want to do it is if you logged on to YouTube earlier, you saw a little place card that said that the show number 429. What I'll do is I'll put a time on there in the future so you'll know when it's coming on. So that way that you'll be able to be prepared. But you also want to do is you want to subscribe to my channel and you'll also want to turn on the alerts. So,
hey, Elaine.
Hey, Elaine, how are you? So you saw it in real time. Linda's on her computer as well, and she's seeing it in real time. So we're just starting this out. So I've been on YouTube, gosh, since almost YouTube started. And I'm definitely what I want to do is I don't feel like I've been treating YouTube properly. So now we're going to be doing a better job with it. So I'm doing a lot of YouTube Lives, guys. I've done 2 already since I announced it.
Hi,
and then we're doing another one today. So this is a good time to ask your questions. Hey, Melissa, and that's Melissa right there. Okay. So Melissa, Linda's going to need more guidance on how to become an admin, and you can deal with that, after all this. All right. So now is a good time to ask your questions. What also has been going on really, really well is the Patreon page. If people are not part of our Patreon page, what they're doing is they're able to join that. And what you can do is you can ask more questions and get really, really long answers. All right. Okay, here we go.
Hey guys, longtime follower, first time live with you. Hi, Michael. Okay, Jake. Hey guys, hope you're well. Have you seen the post floating around about the person picking up pit bulls off Craigslist and turning them in to be euthanized? Just wondering your thoughts on that.
So, Jake, this is the thing. I don't comment on a lot of this nonsense that, first of all, if it's on the internet, that doesn't mean it's true. Obviously, I think it's ridiculous that it's happening. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. I think that the bigger issues out there, I normally don't comment on stuff like this because it's not because I don't care. It's because it's just all silliness. Of course it's horrific. I'm against it. So next.
What would you say to a trainer in England if this proposed e-collar ban is approved?
So this is the thing about England. In Scotland, I actually sat before Scottish Parliament and actually talked with them about their e-collar issues. And we actually put together a plan of action. Scotland is going to legislate it, even though I voiced my opinion saying that, I don't think they should be legislating it. But this is the thing. What you're going to do is there's a lot of ways to stop unwanted behaviors through punishment. It doesn't have to be through a remote collar. But what you need to do is the problem with England is people waited too long. People waited too long. There's so much hatefulness in the UK in general. It is incredible. I get more hate from the UK than anywhere else in the world combined. So do all of my colleagues. What dog owners need to do is stand up and fight. So dog owners could stand up and fight for their rights. But if there's going to be a ban on it, you're going to have to learn other ways to punish a dog. The issue is once this happens, a lot of dogs are going to be killed because a lot of little owners are going to be left struggling. And what you could also do is just use a bandana. Next question.
Okay. I'm just going to say hi to some people.
Yep.
Smart Dog School, Randy. Hi, how are you? Let's see. What would you say to a trainer in England if this?
I just answered that question.
Sorry. I'm looking at the next one. Sorry. Yep. Hi, guys, from Julie. Hey, hello, everyone. Missy. Okay, Paper Addict. Hey, Jeff, thanks for doing this. Just bought a remote collar and hopefully some counter surfing and high chair jumping. What's your number one tip to get started?
So the thing about remote collars are fantastic for stopping unwanted behaviors. And what you can do is if you want to start by punishment right off the bat, you can. Counter surfing, the best thing to do is to set it up. You put the remote collar on the dog. I would prefer if you did some work with the dog first on obedience, but you do not have to. You don't have to do that at all. You can go right to punishment if you want to. Again, if you're brand new to my show and if you've never heard the word punishment, punishment is not abuse. Punishment is how you stop unwanted behaviors. It's the adding and subtracting of something to decrease a behavior. That's fact. So what you're going to do is you have something on the counter that the dog wants to get. You leave the room. You look through a video camera or look through something. And when the dog goes up and gets it, you are on a high level for 3 seconds. You should not enjoy doing it. It's going to hurt the dog. And it's not going to be pretty, but we're talking dogs can die from getting on the counter. Dogs can die. So the big thing is, if anybody struggles with this, I get it. Yep, I just said it's going to be uncomfortable and hurt the dog. But my question is, how do you stop an unwanted behavior today? Right now, immediately. Any good dog trainer should be able to stop unwanted behaviors immediately. Next question.
Okay. Hi, Heather. Here's another question from Michael. Long question, if you can answer. I got a dog from a fake trainer. Dog is a German/Malinois mix, and he was beaten by the fake trainer. I spent my savings to get her and left no money for training her. How do I help her get over the scaredness?
Well, this is the thing. Number one, let's forget about the old story. Whether it's true or not, please stop telling that story. Stop telling the story about the fake trainer. Stop telling about that the dog was beaten. You know what I mean? Because number one, you might not know if it's true or not. Normally, it's not true. It's our assumption. It could be just a genetic issue where the dog is really, really nervous and fearful. So please understand that. Either way, it doesn't change anything. The best thing you can do with any fear dog is this, is lots of structure, lots of obedience, lots of consequences, and hold off on affection right now. But that dog is meant to work. So work the dog and then start exposing that dog to environmentals in a structured ways. But don't baby the dog. The problem is you're going to be compensating for the supposed harm the dog got with human emotion. That's going to work against you. That's going to work against you. So I want you to stop telling that story. I literally never want you to tell that story again. If you do, you probably won't be successful. So it sucks. It is what it is. Next.
This question is from Haley. I have an anxious dog that I'm working with and following your protocols. One of my roommate's dogs is also anxious and they keep getting into fights. They're currently at the vet, actually.
Okay, so this is what I want you to do, Haley. So those dogs can't be together right now until you get professional help. And what I mean by professional help is somebody that actually works with dog aggression. It is a specialty. I would say that 90% plus of dog trainers out there don't work with aggressive dogs. They don't. Most people just do obedience, even far less do behavior modification, and even far, far less do aggression rehab. So what you're going to need to do is you need to right now is do management until you can sit down and talk to somebody. So what are you going to do? Make sure both dogs are crated, and you're going to have to keep them away from each other, which is not the answer, but it's going to be the answer you're going to get on a quick YouTube live. Again, hold them accountable. Both dogs should be remote collar trained. Nobody should be babying these dogs. Nobody should be allowing these dogs to be jealous, and be really careful about permitting by reinforcing unwanted behaviors, which happens all the time. Next.
Jeff, we are on day 3 of using a prong collar on our GSD. What a difference. Thank you very much for your guidance and videos.
Mark,
this is Mark.
Awesome. Oh, proud of you, buddy. Fist bump to you. Next.
My dog walks very politely on a prong collar, but completely ignores me. How do I get her to pay attention to me when she's not doing anything technically wrong? So
Sharon, this is the thing. I don't want dogs. So we're family pet dog trainers. So at our training facility, but what I don't want you to do is think you've got to do a competition obedience heel where the dog's always looking. But the best thing to do is start becoming valuable to your dog. I've got a video called the 180 move on YouTube. In my search box, just type in 180 and you'll be able to find it. And when you do that, what you can do is you'll be able to start getting your dog to focus more on you. Do a lot of quick turns. Get the dog to walk behind you. Remote collar heel the dog. So that's how you're going to get it. Also, I just found out about this thing for Super Chat. There's a little $ sign down at the bottom here. these people just started donating money to my YouTube lives the other day. And I'm like, how did that happen? So a couple of people have been asking me, there's a little dollar sign at the bottom there. If you click on that, you can actually donate money, which I think is pretty cool, right? If you appreciate all the help that we give you. Next.
I have nothing to ask because my dog is amazing. Thanks to Jeff.
Awesome. Proud of you. Thanks for tuning in. Next.
Melissa, thank you. I just need to get into that email. So we'll see. Missy, I'm not getting anything, says it's waiting for solid canine. Am I doing something wrong?
The fact that you asked that question, you should be able to see us.
Yeah.
Try rebooting. The fact that you asked that question, I think that you can see us, or else you wouldn't be able to make a comment. So try to reboot your computer or get out of YouTube and go back in. Next.
Unless she's seeing like a black screen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And is still able to comment.
Yeah.
My border collie is good at obedience, place, sit, heel, crate, etc.,
Awesome.
but he's selective on obeying my commands. I'm introing e-collar and he vocalizes, then acts sullen. How do I push through this?
Sullen. Okay, so sullen. This is what you're gonna do. So Heather, so this always sounds cold and uncaring. You get over it, right? You get over it. This is the thing. The only way to proof a dog is through punishment. It's just the only way. So dogs get selective listening and stubborn behavior because of lack of consequences for a known behavior. Known. So if your dog has done 500 sits, 500 downs, 500 places, heels like a superstar, and then decides to be selective when it does it, that's because you haven't proofed it through punishment. That's it. The sullen is you humanizing the dog, possibly being calm, or you interpreting the dog's resistance to your information. So it's like this, though. It's a roller coaster ride. It's a roller coaster ride. The dog doesn't like that you have said to it, you have to do it. You have to do it. It's no different than me telling Angelo, I'll humanize this shit all day long, guys. It's no different than me telling Angelo, you can't do that. And you know what he does? He hunches his shoulders, puts his head down like this, and he walks out of the room. Now, it's like clockwork. It's choreographed. He does it every single time. Anytime he's not allowed to do something, he does this little sullen dance, we call it. We don't, but I just made it up. But that's what he does. So what do? We don't laugh at him, obviously, but I sure as hell don't feel bad for the kid. He's got a good life. Your dog has a good life. So keep doing it. Keep doing it. Next.
Adult female pitty who is reactive to loud noises, even a sneeze. She has started going after my Yorkie at any unexpected loud noise. Knock on door. E-collar correct high. She is muzzle conditioned now.
So what I would do, Miss M, is a couple of things. I would absolutely, first of all, that dog could kill your, not because of the breed, but because of the size. That dog could kill your Yorkie. All right. So what I would do is, let's think about this logically. Who the Frank Sinatra does your dog think it can do by taking its impulse control out on that Yorkie? So what I would do is muzzle condition this dog, teach it place. What I would also do is put it on a tie back. As soon as that, and I want you to role play this. That dog should have a bomb-proof place around all distractions. So I want this dog to have a bomb-proof place around all noises. So you proof it with what? Noises. So you could knock on the door, have your cell phone ring. You can download sounds from the internet, everything. It's an impulse control issue. The dog doesn't know how to deal with it. It's also an arousal issue. So when the dog gets aroused, it does stupid stuff. So when your dog gets aroused, it's doing stupid things. So what I want you to do is you've got to let it know. Yes, it's going to be a high correction on a remote. The fact that it's going after your other dog, it gets a high correction. Now, a lot of people are going to go, well, that'll make the dog more aggressive. Hold on here. Your dog's attacking your other dog before I came into the picture, before you started using this advice. It won't make your dog more aggressive at all. Next.
How to make recall more reliable. Dog understands here without distractions, but out on a trail when told here will stop and stare until command is repeated a few times. Okay,
again, so Jake, here we go again. Not with you, but here we go again about punishment. And again, this is the thing. The way we train recall is through a reward-based system. We do rewards and a long line. Absolutely. The way we train every single command is through rewards. The way we stop every unwanted behavior is through punishment. The way we get dogs to stop refusing known commands is through punishment. And I'll tell you why. No amount of high-level reward is going to get your dog to come back to you if it wants to go after a deer. Right? So what I want you to do is this. Long line on the dog, 30-foot long line. I want you to go out. I want you to make sure that dog understands remote collar recall. So let it go out 5 feet. Boom, call it back. Send it back out. Let it go out 10 feet. Call it back. And then I want you to be able to proof that dog on a punisher with a long line. So when that dog refuses to come back to you the first time, listen, I don't mind saying here a couple of times, but proof it. You say here, the dog stops and looks at you, hold on to the leash, say the word no, remote collar correction. The reason why you're holding onto the leash, because the remote collar is not directional. Make sure that dog comes back to you. So then the dog will understand there's a consequence for non-compliance of a known command. It's really important that we understand that. When it comes to obedience training, you punish only when the dog knows the command. If you're trying to stop an unwanted behavior, you can punish right off the bat. So punishers can be used in multiple different ways. Next.
Okay, Missy May, I don't know if you can see this or not, but it says if you can see comments but not the video, try closing YouTube and reopen and select the video again.
Nice.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Melissa.
Melissa.
Okay. Adoptive dog, 4 to 5 years old, just learned how to fetch, is now obsessed. Eyes change like a fiend, won't let go. Accidentally bitten hands. It's like he has like epilepsy and his jaws are spasming.
So Pierce, I want you to teach that dog the out command. All this is based on arousal. Cool that the dog likes fetch. I get that dog into nose work. All right. Get that dog into nose work because you're going to use the ball as the reward. So have some fun with nose work. So you can do it. Just look up, and for an online class, a real world class, get a DVD or a streaming video. What you're going to do, though, is teach that dog the out command. And I've got a video on that, and I demonstrate that at all my seminars. All my seminars I demonstrate out. It's done with a remote collar, and it's very important. If you're teaching a dog to grab something, that's part one. Part two is you got to teach that dog to release it. Or else, if you deal with a dog that's strong, it's going to be the situation where you have now. All right. So it's a great command for every dog to learn. It's also how we stop resource guarding. Next.
I was on your last live and said my Chihuahua is very leash reactive against humans and dogs. You said to use a bonker. Do I just throw it at her while she's lunging or do I hit her with it?
So what you're going to do, Angelica, I want you to recognize arousal in your dog. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to take your dog out for a walk. All right. And I want that dog to be heeling next to you. So let's make sure the dog is in the proper position. If you've got a dog that's leash reactive and you're allowing it 2 feet to 20 feet in front of you, and then it gets reactive, shame on you. I'm not shaming you. I don't shame or blame clients, but it's an expression. Shame on you. Keep the dog in a proper heel next to you. Then what I want you to do is this. If your dog walks next to you, as soon as that dog starts pulling ahead, I want you to say no, and then bonk the dog. Got it? No, and then bonk the dog. You throw it at the dog. It's a Chihuahua. It's got to be released. I've bonked Chihuahuas. You won't hurt your Chihuahua at all. Now, all of a sudden, your dog goes, holy shit. What's going to happen if I get leash reactive? The magic of it is the dog understands what no means. You have to teach the dog what no means. Once the dog is in drive, can you do it? Yes, you can. But it's a heck of a lot easier to do it when the dog's not in drive. Next. Hold on 1 second. Ask the question. Romy!
You get me discombobulated. 8-month-old lab mouths when he doesn't want to do something. If he has the prong leash on, he bites the leash. How do I correct this?
So what you're going to do is this. You got a couple of options here. Sorry, Linda.
It's okay.
So your dog is objecting. You can get yourself a pet convincer, which is just compressed air, which is empty right now, or you can get a bonker. Can you bring your dogs up, please? Yeah. Let the dogs in. Thank you. So what you're going to do is you're going to do compressed air or a bonker. Dog's biting the leash. No. Boom. All it is the dog objecting. It's the dog saying no. That's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. Next.
My dog is 1 year old and I have a prong collar on him and he bites it. How do I stop that?
Please.
It is a different question.
So he bites it. It's on his neck though. He shouldn't be able to reach it. So I'm a little bit confused by that question. Next.
I have 2 dogs. They do very well in structured walks when I take them individually, but take a while to settle in when I walk them together. Any tips for getting better walks together?
Yep. Hold on a second, please. Thank you, Romy. Yes. What you're going to do is this. Right from the get-go, set the tone. Right from the get-go, set the tone. Just to let everybody know, first of all, thank you for being on my YouTube Live. It's my first YouTube Live that I've done. I've been doing this for 10 years, but this is my first YouTube Live for Q&A. So thank you so much for everybody that showed up. Second of all, thank you for all the people that are actually following through the work, because I know you are. If you're brand new, though, and you haven't heard this information before, a lot of times what we do, whenever we're trying to set the tone, don't wait until the dogs are out of control. You're in the middle of your walk. Your dogs are starting to act like a-holes. It's a lot harder to set the tone then. You're better off setting the tone where? At the very beginning of the walk. So what do? Walk out of the house, firm leash pop, bonker, remote collar. Set the tone right from the beginning of the walk. Those dogs will go, holy shit. Like, we barely did anything wrong and we got a punisher. I wonder what's going to happen when we act like a fool. It's like child raising, guys. I'll humanize this stuff all day long. Could you imagine if you had a curfew? So my parents could never find a proper punisher for me. All right? I have proper punishers for all my kids. So this is the thing. Could you imagine if curfew was midnight and your teenager came home at 12:05 and you said to them, what time is it? 12:05. What time is curfew? Midnight. Were you late? Yes, I was. You can't go out for a month. Could you imagine and you followed through, by the way. You didn't cave after 24 hours like a lot of parents did. And you followed through. Could you imagine what you've just instilled in your child? That number one, rules are rules. Number two, you follow through. And number three, you better take this shit seriously. Same with the dog. Next.
5-pound Yorkie. Problem I have is screaming like a crazy dog when I have company. In or out of the crate, it's every time. I've turned up e-collar to jolt behavior with no results. Okay, so this is the thing. I don't know what kind of remote collar you're using, and I don't know how you're going. If your dog's in the crate, what I want you to do is this. Again, if you're brand new to my show, which a lot of people are not, because that's a great thing about YouTube Live. Most of the time, it's a smaller group, but it's people that are actually like been following me, so they know my shit. It's a punishment. So we do this all the time at our training center, and we do this all the time at our seminars. What's really cool at our seminars is this. I'm about to do a seminar in Kelowna this weekend. By the way, brand new location, 40 people. It's almost sold out in Kelowna. It's going to be incredible. Anyway, dogs come in. There's nonsense going on in the crate. I'll walk up to them with a bonker. I'll walk up to them with a pet convincer. If they have a remote collar, I'll grab the remote collar from the owner. I need to communicate with them to be quiet. So what will I do? I'll say no, and I'll walk up, and I'll most likely hold the towel and hit the top of the crate with it. You want it to be startling. You want it to be like, holy, what the, oh my God, what was that? Frank Sinatra.
I better not be an a-hole anymore. So chances are you're not being firm enough. You're not being firm enough. So this is the thing. A lot of people think they're using a punisher, but they're not. They're not. Because the dog doesn't stop the behavior. Therefore, it wasn't a punisher. That's what I mean by proper punishment. Next.
Okay. How many hours a day do you actually spend on training with a stay and train? Board and train, it would be.
With a board and train, Tiffany? So believe it or not, dogs spend 60 to 70% of their time in their kennels at a board and train. So we're very transparent about that. Like, you only need to train a dog for 90 minutes a day, active training. So you got 90 minutes a day of active training, which is sort of like obedience commands, 1 walk, maybe 2 walks a day, some socialization if they need with dogs, and then massive amounts of duration, meaning place for hours at a time, and then in their crate for hours at a time. Keep in mind, they're not there to play. They're there to work. They're there to work. And a lot of times folks will say, oh, are the dogs having fun? We don't know, and it doesn't matter. And that sounds so anti-dog and anti-client. We're trying to change behaviors. Now, if you send your dog to us for trick training, it's going to be fun. If you send your dog to us for agility, it's going to be fun. But when you send your dog to us for rehab, it might not be fun. That doesn't mean we're being mean. It just means we're going to push that dog. We have to push the dog. We have to, because if we don't push the dog, it won't change its behavior. We've done this so many times. But the magic, though, is in the duration. No dog needs to come to us. I shouldn't say that. Maybe a dozen dogs in the last 10 years have needed to come to us to learn how to be more excited. Most dogs come to us to be less and more controlled. Next.
Miss M says, yay, thank you for the pity advice.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate the free content. That's from Heather. And Missy May figured out how to get back on here, so that's good. Dog is afraid of e-collar.
Okay. So Lita, a couple of things. You could have used it wrong. You could have effed up. Don't worry about it. What you want to do is this. Dog wakes up in the morning, put the collar on. Every 3 or 4 hours, switch the collar from side to side. Use all food-based protocols during your training. So you should be using food and remote collar, food and remote collar, food and remote collar. Don't just put the collar. A lot of times people put the collars on when they're just training, or they put the collar on when the dog just did something bad and now the collar goes on. Be proactive with it. Wake up, start your day. Now, if the dog's in its kennel for 6 hours a day because you have to go to work, you can take the collar off. But switch it every 3 or 4 hours so the dog doesn't get pressure sores, and then use food in all your training. That's what we do. That's what we do. The dog should be excited about the collar. So even if the dog hates it now, you can flip it. Don't worry, you didn't F up your dog. Next.
4-year-old blue heeler mix, very anxious after moving and bringing home a newborn.
Yep.
Has started growling in her crate at adult owners and going to the bathroom in the house. Help.
So Laura, that's common. That's why we put so much emphasis on baby proofing. So moving, huge stressor. Having a baby, huge stressor for everybody, the adults and the dogs. So this is what you're going to do. So, somebody?
Dana.
Oh, Dana, thank you so much for the $10. Holy shit. Dana.
That's awesome.
You're awesome. Dana just did a, is there a question that she needs me to answer or no?
I don't know. Not yet.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Dana. She just did that $ super chat thing. So what you're going to do is, I want them to, lots of structure. Again, structure with the dog. Growling, the bottom line is, you got to punish the dog. Growling, knock it off. That's what you have to do. Knock it off. So why is the dog growling? Because it is. It's nervous. It's insecure. It might be getting resource guarding over the baby, over the owners. So you've got to stop it with a punisher. You have to. A lot of people will say, well, you need to find the root cause of it. If you're beating the dog and it growls, that's a different story. If you're hanging out with a baby or walking by the crate and that dog growls, you correct it. Next.
Love this format. Where is the notification button you mentioned in the Instagram post?
There's a little bell. You've got a little bell. When you subscribe to me, then there's a little bell. Click on the bell, and then all of a sudden these little lines go around the bell. Next.
Well, right now it's right underneath if she's already subscribed.
Oh, so right now, you're right. So right now, underneath the screen where we are, it'll be subscribed 55,000K, and there's a little bell next to it. If it's just a bell with no little lines next to it, that means you have to hit that, and then it goes to notifications. So subscribe, and then hit notifications. Next.
Love you, Jeff and Linda.
Awesome.
Thank you, Lisa.
Melissa gave us, so there's a link to our Patreon account. Feel free to jump on our Patreon account. You get a lot of one-on-one training there. Next.
Frank says, looking forward to next weekend in Kelowna.
Oh, Frank, me too, man. Frank, it's going to be packed. It's going to be packed there. I'm excited. We're probably shutting off ticket sales because I don't think we can fit any more people in that building. Some of the buildings I can fit 100 people in. Some I can only fit 30 in. This one we already have 40, and we're maxing out the building. So
maxing out.
Yep.
Howdy, Jeff and Linda from Arizona. Thanks so much for everything. Love YouTube version of Q&A.
Oh, awesome. Cool, Holly. Thank you.
Yep. I'm so looking forward to like-minded people in Kelowna.
Nice.
Anyone here from Seattle area?
I'll be in Seattle. I don't know, but there's a lot of people in the Seattle area though that are into what I do. I'll be in Seattle doing a seminar there. Go to rvdogtrainer.com. Next. Okay.
Do we need to worry about layering prong with e-collar before working with e-collar? Having a hard time dialing up on my Huskies. I also need practice. Haha.
So if you could, ideally we like to do prong first and layer remote over it because it's a lot easier to do on the dog and on the owner. I think it's really hard to have the dog on like a flat buckle collar or a martingale and a remote. It's a lot easier to guide the dog with the prong. The prong gives directional control. You've got a big, powerful dog. It'll be much easier. What you're going to do is you want to make sure though you're having a hard time dialing up. If you're mentally having a hard time dialing up, I don't want to sound cold, and uncaring, but get over it, right? It's like, and I know why you don't want to dial up because you're afraid of hurting your dog. And the cool thing is, I don't want you to hurt your dog either. But if your dog's blowing off commands, or if your dog's not listening to you, or if your dog is doing unwanted behaviors, the dog sure as heck doesn't care about your feelings. Now, that doesn't mean you should be not caring about their feelings, but what it means is train your dog up. Train your dog up. Next.
Okay. So grateful for all your videos. Every foster who enters my home is trained with one. My daughter's dog was trained in 2 walks, and now we enjoy our walks. Love you to pieces. Margaret, awesome.
Yeah, every foster, I'm so super psyched for you for being a foster that actually works with dogs. A lot of the stuff, a lot of times with fosters, what they do is they love the dogs too much instead of working the dogs. Work the dogs. It's your job as a foster to have that dog leave better than it came to you. The dog should learn how to go into a crate, how to shut up in a crate, how to learn basic commands, make sure there's no separation anxiety. And then your job is to give that new owner, the potential new owner, a good assessment on the dog's strengths and weaknesses. Next.
Dog goes after squirrels, try to catch him as he is getting aroused by one, but cannot always catch him. If I miss the loading time and correct when he is running, he does not react to the e-collar.
That's because, okay, I give this example all the time, is if you put $1,000 50 feet away from me and I had a remote collar on, I'm going to get that $1,000. I'm going to get it. I'm going to scream, but I'm going to get it. You put $20, no, I'm not moving. I'm not moving. So you need to go to once a dog is in drive, you lost it. You lost it. Dogs go through underground fencing, which is much higher than a remote collar. Keep that in mind. They go through it on purpose, screaming the whole way. So, next.
Thank you so much for all of your content.
You're welcome, Jessica.
Okay. And oops, my question just got a little goofed up. Okay, from Tiffany, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Dana, I've learned a tremendous amount from your videos. Thank you for your commitment to these wonderful animals.
Oh, awesome, Dana. So Dana did a super chat. She donated $10. Thank you so much for the support. That's always appreciated.
Oh, Tiffany just donated $1.99.
Awesome. Thanks,
That's
Tiffany.
Awesome. Okay, Steve. Ocala, Florida here. Absolutely love all the information you guys provide. I've been stalking your social media channels for years. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Steve. I just did a shout out on a couple of trainers down in Florida, but I've got Tori Smith, Heather Arthur, and Bethany Johnson, 3 really good trainers down in the Florida area. They're in the Winter Park, Orlando area. Next.
Tiffany said, that's all I had on iTunes. Have to load up more money. Hey, $1.99 is good.
Tiffany, man, I'll take $1.99 anytime. Anytime.
Potential client has an Aussie with a very strong herding instinct towards children anywhere. Any tips on correcting specifically this instinctual behavior in an Aussie? I don't see e-collars in my training.
You don't use e-collars in your training.
Sorry.
So this is the thing. So if you don't use remote collars, you could struggle. You could use, do you use a dressage whip? Do you use or a stockyard whip? Do you use that? I mean, an Australian Shepherd is going to respond well to it. It knows. This is the thing. I understand the job. The job, what they do is dogs that work cattle and dogs that work sheep. I get it. But kids aren't cattle or sheep. So you absolutely need to figure out what a punisher is. You can also use a bonker. Use a bonker as well. The dog needs to understand that it's not allowed to do that behavior. So what you do is you got to set it up. You got to set it up, and then you got to punish. That's how it is. That's how it is. What I don't want you to do is this. A lot of people. This is what's wrong with my industry. Everybody else is going to say, have the kids get treats. Have the kids use rewards so the dog will have a positive association with the dog. Who says the dog doesn't already have a positive association with the kids? It's just doing what it's genetically bred to do. We don't know if this dog doesn't like kids. It likes to herd, though. It's doing exactly what it enjoys. If you add food to that, which is a reward, the dog will do more of that behavior. That's why you have to use a punisher. What I want folks to do is this. I want everyone to start using common sense. If I want a dog to do more of something, I'll use a reward. If I want a dog to do less of something, I use a punisher. Now say to yourself, what's the reward that'll increase the behavior? And what's the punisher that'll decrease the behavior? And then give it a shot. But you can't decrease, you're not going to decrease it with a reward. Next.
Thank you for the answer on the crate growling. Anything I can do about the peeing in the house? Punish?
No, peeing in the house, peeing in the house, you need to catch in the act. Chances are the dog is struggling with some anxiety issues. Check for a UTI, though, and make sure the dog is on a scheduled water, scheduled potty, and they might have to do more place duration. They got to catch that dog in the act, though. Next.
Thank you, Melissa, for all the tips you're giving me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Melissa.
This is going to be really good.
You're being a great moderator.
Mm-hmm. Wife and I picked up our 16, now 17-week-old GSD last Friday. Been following you after hearing a canine unit trainer from Ohio talk about you. We have our GSD doing great purely from your YouTube.
Awesome.
Wow.
So Miguel, say the people's names before.
Okay, Miguel.
Give him a little shout out.
Okay.
Because you know why the comments get these comments get deleted. They disappear when I put up the replay.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Miguel. So yeah, I'm tied in with a bunch of canine trainers in the Ohio area, mostly in Canton, Ohio. But it could have been Joe, Canine Vlad. It could have been Canine Vlad. Yep, he's the guy with the that knocked on my door.
Oh.
Yeah. Next.
Well,
Yep.
Just Molecule. Culez. I
Yes.
don't know if I'm saying that right. Attending Kelowna session, but missed out an opportunity to register with our GSD. How to get most benefit from attending? Not sure of the format since not able to bring our beast.
So first of all, I know that there's about 20 people that want a working spot that can't get one. So I'm probably going to schedule another one with Laura when I'm there. We'll come up with another date. But you will learn just as much there as you will if you had your dog. And I mean that. So some people actually enjoy not having their dog because they can focus more. So what you're going to do is you're going to see me work with 17 dogs on the fly. On the fly. I can't be like, let me call up my colleague, or like I literally have to stop the behavior right there on the fly. So you'll see me work with all these dogs, mostly on how to stop unwanted behaviors. You'll see how I work dogs. You'll start understanding dogs' energy. You'll start understanding dogs' state of mind, and you'll understand how to stop unwanted behaviors. And you can still ask questions. So you're going to learn a ton. You'll learn a ton. Nice. And as far as the format goes, I talk for 10 minutes, and then I start working dogs. That's the format. That's literally what I do. I just want to work the dogs. Next.
This one's from Holly. Yeah, not emotional, just I'm not sure I'm getting through. Still working on their thick fur and the long contacts.
So what I would do is shave down the area. Just go for it, shave it down, get a proper fit, or you're wasting your time, Holly. Next.
This is from Kathy. Do you ever get to Northwest Arkansas?
Northwest Arkansas, no, but I get to Texas. I know it's not the same thing, but I get to Texas. Go to rvdogtrainer.com, rvdogtrainer.com. Next.
This is from Jay Hamlin. Hi, guys. Jeff, is the remote collar only conditioned and used as a punisher, or can it also be conditioned and used as a positive reinforcer? Example, aggressive dog is corrected, non-aggressive isn't.
Oh, yeah. We use remote collars to fully off-leash train dogs. So we use it for both. We don't just use it for punishment. Absolutely not. It's a great punisher. We use it for everything, though. That's how we get dogs to do, quicker commands, more proofing. We'll do lower levels. We do lower levels to do pressure on and pressure off. But absolutely, we use it high. Any dog trainer that says they don't use the remote collar high, my question is, why not? Like, why don't you use it high? That's what it was designed for as well. Like, it goes to 100 for a reason. Like, that's how you stop unwanted behaviors. So next.
How to start dog aggression rehab?
That's a 10-week course. So the first thing you're going to do is massive amounts of structure, take away affection, hold your dog accountable, and start punishing for non-compliance on small things, and start understanding arousal in dogs. That's a really long question, though.
Next.
Evelyn, sorry you didn't understand what I meant, but Evelyn, I don't know what your question was. Read the next question.
Missy May. Working a dog right now that screams every time he is corrected on prong. I have to keep pressure on until he stops. How would you incorporate e-collar to extinguish this particular behavior?
Some dogs are just really, really loud. Some dogs are just really, really loud. It's a pain in the ass, some of these dogs that just scream at literally you look at them and they scream. Or you have a Frenchie, not to stereotype Frenchies, but sometimes Frenchies go totally nuts on a leash out of excitement. So if you've got yourself a sensitive dog, the prong's not hurting the dog. That's what a lot of people say. Oh, well, it must be hurting the dog. It's not hurting the dog. I've had dogs scream on harnesses, on flat buckle collars, on martingales. I've had dogs scream in crates. So all it is the dog objecting. And the screaming, it's a practice behavior. It's gotten them out of things. I would use a bonker. Scream, no, bonk. The bonker can be very, very effective. Next.
This one's from Kayla. 9-month-old mini schnauzer growls when handled and picked up. I've been correcting more consistently every growl for a week, and he just got worse. He dislikes handling more now. Give me a plan. I have time.
So Kayla, what I would do is join my Patreon page and get a one-on-one with me. This is the thing. Check to make sure the dog doesn't have any issues with its spine or its hips. So mouth, ears, spine, hips. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do a clicker food protocol if the dog is healthy. You're going to do a huge yes and a huge no. A huge yes and a huge no. But the dog might have something wrong with it. The dog might have something wrong with it. Check that first. Whenever we see that, we always check medical. Check for any embedded toenails. Check for that. Check it all over. See if there's any parts of the body that are sensitive. So our Chihuahua, whenever we picked up Kaiser about 3 weeks ago, started screaming. He has a disc issue in his neck.
And we thought it was his legs.
We thought it was his legs.
We didn't know.
We didn't know. Yep. So until we went to a vet. Next.
Okay, Lunira. I apply your techniques while training my psychiatric service dog during public access training. I've never had any issues using your techniques. Thanks so much. Keep up with the videos.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. I mean, service dogs need to be trained to a higher quality. All service dogs need to understand what punishment is. I give this example all the time. Everybody thinks that service dogs are trained with just positive reinforcement. Maybe, but they're not proof with it. And this is the best example. You got mobility issues. Your service dog has been trained to do a couple of things. Let's talk about 2 different tasks. Turn on and off the lights and go to the refrigerator and get something and bring it back. Right? How do you train all that? Reward. There's a little bit of punisher, but mostly it's reward based. How do you proof it? Punishment. What do I mean by that? What happens when your dog starts fetching water bottles out of the refrigerator when you didn't ask them to? What happens when your service dog starts just randomly turning lights on and off when you didn't ask them to? How do you stop that? How do you stop that? More rewards for getting it right? Nope. It already knows how to do it right. You have to apply a punisher when it does it when you don't tell it to. Or you'll have anarchy. How about if your service dog who's been trained to pick up your keys and bring them to you? Now all of a sudden, out of the blue, your dog starts bringing you your keys, bringing you your cell phone. Now what do? More rewards so they get it right? Nope. Dog already knows how to get it right. Punishment for lack of compliance. I'm stepping up my punishment conversation game if you haven't noticed. Why? Because dogs are freaking dying and owners can't take their dogs out in public and owners are struggling. And when you've got a dog that's badly behaved, your world becomes very small. And I don't want that for owners anymore. I want your world to get bigger. Next.
Jeff, Christina gave you $10.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thanks. Love
so
you.
Awesome. Next. Caution, 44. 5-month-old GSD who whines and cries when he isn't able to meet dogs or people. What's the best way to correct when out and about?
So that's all around. Again, that's arousal. First of all, cool job for not allowing your dog to meet them. I don't want your dog to meet any dog on a leash or people on a leash at all. So your 5-month-old dog, I don't want it to ever meet anybody on a leash. Okay? So I'm not saying don't socialize your dog. My dogs are very social, but they don't meet anybody or anything on a leash in public. I've trained them to not pay attention to humans and dogs in public. So what I want you to do is you have to give a leash correction or remote collar correction at the first sign of arousal. Next.
This question's from Michael. Jeff, Linda, if a big network contacted you and wanted to do a reality show on your family and your dog training, would you do it? Just saying, it would be an amazing show. You and Linda are great.
Thank you, Michael. So, Michael, we've been approached before. I mean, I've been approached before. We've pitched some stuff before to some networks. I probably would actually do it with a small network, not a big network, because big networks want to control too much. And big networks also are too worried about their advertisers. They're too worried about their advertisers. So I've pitched some stuff before, but I just didn't like the way it went. I'd rather do a YouTube show. Just remember, your average YouTuber. So here's a great example. Casey Neistat. Casey, if you don't know who Casey Neistat is, he's a great YouTuber. Casey Neistat. He's got 9 million fans. He'll put up a video. His average video gets a minimum of 1 million views, usually in 24 hours or less. No TV show gets that. I shouldn't say no TV show gets that. Your average TV show can't get that. So more people can see a YouTube video than a television show. Television is becoming non-existent. YouTube is where it's going to be at. So I'd rather come up with my own. Next.
This is from another Michael. Dogs sometimes will destroy toys. Usually plays nice though. How can I stop the destruction? I don't want her to be afraid of playing with her toys.
So Michael, are you my mechanic, Mike?
No, they spelled their last name different.
Oh, really? Do they? Oh, that's the name of my...
I think Schultz, the way they spell it, doesn't have the C.
Oh, this is my mechanic's name. He's a good mechanic. So this is the thing. The destruction of toys, you'd have to use a punisher. Now, the dog won't be afraid of the toy. But here's another thing. My dogs only have... I'm not against toys. Let's full clarification. My dogs have fetch toys. They have fetch toys, and they've got bones. So fetch toys are used for in the pool and through chuck it. Okay? Bones are used to chew on. Toys, don't let them chew on the toy. Then there's nothing to destroy. Nothing to destroy. But if you want to, because they don't need them. They don't need a soft toy. Now, if you've got a dog that holds its favorite little stuffed pig in its mouth and takes it everywhere, and it's owned it for 5 years and it's never even put a hole in it, let it have one. But if you've got a dog that has a habit of destroying toys, they don't need them. Now, is that training? No, but it's smart financial planning, right? But also what you can do is you would say no and then use the remote collar to correct. Now, is it going to stay away from that toy? It might, but it's also going to learn that it's not supposed to destroy things. Next.
This is from Steve. Seeing the videos, already looking into connecting with Positively Calm. Can't wait.
Awesome. Yeah, Heather's great.
From Elaine. Thank you for doing your job so well.
Oh, you're welcome.
That's so nice. Margaret. Thank you, Jeff. We really do try to make every foster better than they were when they came to us. Loved your seminar in Nazareth. Getting better every day at handling dogs, not just loving on them.
Margaret, I'm proud of you. I'll be back in Nazareth too. I already posted that one, but I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Get more of your foster people together and give me a call. We'll see if I can help you out. Let's get every foster person you know to get there so they can start doing what you're doing. All right, next.
Jeff, the paper addict gave you $5.
Woohoo!
Thank you for all you're doing. You are seeing owners who are suffering and want things to change, and you're helping them accomplish that.
That's so nice. Oh, paper addict, thank you.
That's cool. There, now I can close it. All right. I definitely am for punishment in correcting behavior. Just wanted tips on Aussies herding. If there is anything specific that can help more than other cases.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it. So first of all, I would get a remote collar. So, I mean, this is the thing with the remote collar is like, how do you stop a dog when it's in motion and it's far away from you and it's off leash? That's the magic of a remote collar. So I gave you the answer. Or a dressage whip. A dressage whip you can take, or I would use a stockyard whip. It's a little bit longer. Stockyard whip being about anywhere from 48 to 60 inches with about an 8 to 10 inch drop, and you would just smack the dog on the butt. I mean, that's the only way you're going to stop that herding behavior around kids. Now, you also could, so that's how you would punish it. You also can teach that dog how to just do a down or place around running kids. You could do that as well. So you've got a couple of options, but I would want you to do both. So I want you to be amongst the children without hurting them, and I want you to be in a duration command and ignore them. So with me, I would want both. So next.
Any plans to come to North Dakota?
Nothing at all. Go to rvdogtrainer.com though. I'm open to it. I would need a seminar location and knowing that I can at least get anywhere from 30 to 40 people there. Next.
This one's from Holly. Seminars are awesome.
Oh, awesome. Thanks.
Christina. Seminars are awesome. Even if other dogs have issues different from your dog's issue, still lots of learning happening. Best $400 ever spent on my dog.
Oh, thank you.
From Lisa, how to correct excitement piddling. I am low key and do not speak to her until she is calm, but it still happens.
Lisa.
So hard.
Lisa, I wish your dog was biting. I'm serious. I wish your dog was biting. It's easier to fix a biting dog than excitement P. And the fact that you even mentioned that you're calm, like you already understand, like you're already trying so hard. So let's check for a UTI first. This is what you need to do. I'm not the expert on P issues with dogs because we don't have a lot of that. What I would do is this. The ones that we have worked with, we've kept them under threshold for long periods of time. So there's zero physical touch, zero food rewards. Everything is monotone. Everything is neutral. And we monitor their water, check for UTI, make sure they're on a frequent bathroom schedule. Then what you're going to do is work them on duration a lot. So I want you to be in place with lots of stuff going on. So what you're going to do is when they're in duration, they're lying down, you start applying environmentals to it. So lots of loud noises, lots of moving things, lots of excitement. They've got to hold command. That's going to help them now create new muscle memories and new behaviors to stop being out of control crazy. That's my suggestion for you. But boy, fixing biting is a heck of a lot easier. So kudos to you for this journey you're on. Next.
Jeff, Melissa says, Jeff, comments will still show in the replay like on Periscope, but people should not be able to add more comments to the replay.
So Melissa, even if I shut comments off, so Melissa, you set it up so people can't comment, but people can see comments. All right, Melissa? Thank you.
That's what it says here, though.
Okay.
People should not be able to add more comments.
Okay, cool.
This is from Ashley. Needs suggestions on what kind of collars to use on very tiny Chihuahua. The e-collar is too big for them.
So Ashley, you can get a little micro prong collar, 1.75 millimeter. You can start out with that. And then also you can bonk a Chihuahua, pet convincer Chihuahua. Next.
I just lost it.
Javier.
No, not
Yep.
yet. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Javier, how to stop dog from growling and barking in car when she sees someone walking by or one parked next to us?
So Javier, a remote collar. If you're not familiar with remote collars, they're shock collars. So this is the thing. If somebody came up to your window and peered in, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. If somebody stuck your hand in, I wouldn't mind their hand in. But if someone's walking by, which people do all the time, it's going to be the word no and then remote collar. Now, there's a lot of false information out there. People are going to go, oh, then the dog will think that people are bad. It already does. Newsflash, right? Newsflash. The dog already does. That's why it's growling. Teach it that growling is wrong. And then sometimes people will say, how about if somebody's breaking in your car? That's probably not going to happen. So next.
This one's from Invisible Jiu-Jitsu. Getting an 8-week Rhodesian Ridgeback puppy in a couple of months. Already have a 4-year-old female Staffy, spayed. Any big tips for us?
So no tips, just training. So I have no dog training tips at all. Training, it's a lifestyle. It's a full-time commitment. What I would do is I would start putting lots of structure into the existing dog's life. Crate that dog, train that dog, teach that dog duration. The new dog comes in. The minute you pick up that dog, you're training it. So I don't know what your other dog's feelings about other dogs are, and especially puppies. A lot of dogs can't stand puppies. They hate them. So what I would do is I suggest that you, as soon as you get that new dog in, lots of structure. All your training is going to be all food-based, all based on the dog's daily food and marker training. There's no need for a punisher other than for nipping and jumping. And then massive amounts of structure. The biggest mistake people make with puppies is they leave them out of their crates too long. An 8-week-old puppy should be in a crate for at least 21 hours a day. Not in a row, but at least. No, you don't need that dog out of the crate more than 3 hours a day. That's why they're nippy. That's why they're exhausted. That's why they pick up bad behaviors. Next.
CM McDonald, looking forward to seeing you when you come out to Long Island. I taught classes for years and love what you're doing. Wanted to pick your brain regarding obedience without diminishing drive, pet obedience versus sport.
CM, I'll see you out there. I don't know enough about sport dog training, but absolutely I'll talk to you because that's a big conversation. And I'm a big advocate of if you've got a dog with drive. So I own 2 high drive working line shepherds. And guess what? Right now, I mean, I can put them into a place command for 4 or 5 hours. I can punish them for arousal. And guess what? When it's time for them to work, they work. The biggest issue in sport dog training is nobody wants to turn their dogs off because they think it's going to extinguish or diminish its drive. No, it won't. If anything, it'll better control it and they'll conserve their resources. And the reason why I know it is because we do it. And the reason why the sport dog folks don't know it is because they don't do it. There you go. Next.
Hold on.
And we're coming down to the end of the show, by the way. Next.
This one's from Michael. Dog is very jumpy. Any outside noise or sudden noise, she jumps up at attention, almost like she's never truly relaxing.
Michael, train, place, duration. I got videos on it. And then punish for getting up from place. That's the magic right there.
Okay. Diane, do you only throw the bonker at a dog or do you bonk on the head?
Bonk on the head. Or if it's far away, you throw it at it. You're not going to hurt the dog. Next.
Okay. Did we already, the paper addict gave $5?
Yep.
Okay. Kathleen, thanks for all your free information. Also for helping me get in touch with Megan Hart and Kiki and Bronson.
Yep. Awesome.
This one's from Melissa. Anyone looking for Jeff's seminar locations can find out more here.
Oh, awesome.
And there's a link to
Cool.
RB Dog Trainer.
Next.
Kayla, what are your opinions on Cesar Milan?
So one of the things that you'll never hear me do is ever comment on another dog trainer. Ever. I'm probably one of the bigger bash dog trainers out there by other dog trainers. You'll never hear me defend myself. You'll never hear me talk shit about anybody. But that doesn't mean I would talk shit about Cesar. What I'm saying is I don't give my opinions about other dog trainers. That's it. Other than like my colleagues that I work with. Next.
From Lisa, awesome ideas. Thank you so much.
Somebody got banned. Somebody wasn't being nice. Mackenzie, something happened with her. Next.
Margaret, thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
From Jessica, watched your prong collar fit videos. My dog's prong seems to be a half link too big, or is it 1 to 2? I don't know.
It's half.
Slides slightly. When I remove one, it is very snug, but his eye contact and focus on me is great. Not sure if snugger is okay.
Jessica, read your question back.
You answered it yourself.
Okay. It sounds like it's perfect. Proud of you. Next.
Javier, do I correct on high for her barking and growling or just enough for her to look away and mind her own business? By the way, thank you so much, Jeff.
So this is the thing. And this is the last question we're going to do, and then we've got to go. So if anybody wants to throw some.
We have one more.
One more
after
that. So Carla, Carla, and then we're going to stop the show. So last chance for anybody to throw some cash our way. I mean, boy, this is fun, right?
Mama needs a new pair of shoes.
Who knew we'd be able to monetize this stuff? This is great. I love it. Finally. So this is the thing, Javier. Try both. All right, buddy? Try them both. Try enough just to get the dog to go, whatever, to a dog to go, holy shit, that sucks. See which one works. You're not going to mess up your dog either way. Well, if you're always telling your dog to knock it off, then you're nagging your dog, which doesn't mess up the dog, but you're nagging the dog. So what I want you to do is just tell your dog to, hey, knock it off. Try both ways. Next.
Carla, love what you just said about your dogs and turning off the drive. You just answered a question I had.
Awesome. Great, Carla.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Good night, everyone.
I am massively in love with all of you. Thank you so much. I like this. I like the YouTube format.
I like it.
Like it?
Yeah. like maybe I'll do it too.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
So YouTube community, thank you so much. I'm madly in love with you. It's fantastic. Thank you. I'll be even doing some new stuff on Patreon where I'm going to be doing group chats like this. We're all live together. We're all live together. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.